Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YINZER Brothers podcast. I'm TJ, and once again, I am here flanked by my brother Tim. We are the one, the only YINZER Bros. It's good to be coming back at you. The new season is upon us for the Steelers, the 2022 season. We are excited. We're here to talk about all Steelers all the time. Camp is in full swing. Here in Latrobe, it's absolutely amazing. The QB battle is underway, and we're starting to get reports about all the things that are happening with the free agents and the draft picks and the vets. The first preseason game's about a week away. So there's a lot to talk about today on the YINZER Bro podcast. But before we do that, I am flanked again with my brother Tim. Tim, how has your summer been?
You see the background? It's been Tim versus the sun all summer. That's what it's been. That's what it's been. But it's been nice. Went to the beach. I am convinced the only humans that can beat the sun in anything are those old dudes that go to the beach. They don't bring an umbrella. All they bring is a chair, and they look like a leather tote when they sit down. Those guys have somehow found a way to beat the sun. This guy right here, after day one at the beach, bad news. Bad news. Like, I'm getting so fat. You saw me. My tan line, I was tan on my boobs, and under my boobs was white. Like, I was sitting there.
It was not a pleasant thing. Let me tell you something. All those faithful listeners, you never want to see those pictures. But if you do want to see those pictures, for a small donation, the YINZER Bros will send some to you, 8x10 glossies, whatever. We'll even frame them for you if you really want to see them. They were pretty obnoxious, Tim, those pictures.
I look like
I bet
beanbag.
You had to frighten young people on the beach. Were children running from you?
You know, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I reminded myself, like when I kind of sat every other time, like I sat down. You know, when the people back in the day used to collect the leaves in the big pumpkin, like leaf bag. That's what I felt like. Somebody collected a bunch of leaves and threw me against a tree, and it rained for like 3 days straight, and it just started getting lumpy in different areas. That's what I thought I was like when I was sitting, the rest of the time at the beach.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of other things that come to mind, like a sack of potatoes, perhaps. Had that kind of
TJ,
lumpy feel.
I was too scared to go into the ocean because I thought like the reflecting of the white was going to attract like a shark. I thought it was like a bait or something.
That's true. It's pretty rough. Well,
Yeah.
Tim, we're not. Just so you guys know, too, Tim used to be basically a worshiper of the sun. I mean, baby oil, Tim, is anything stronger than baby? I mean, he would find the stuff to intensify the rays of the sun as much as he could, just to get that golden brown.
TJ, I would use baby oil while I'm high-fiving the equator wherever I was. That's what it used to be. Now it's like sunblock 70 and like, yeah, dude, it kind of hit me I think the past like 3 or 4 days. Like I'm starting to peel I look like a hideous monster. I'm peeling in areas I've never peeled before in my life.
I thought your excessive
Not
hair.
to mention the hair on that's growing back too. It's like a double shot of kill.
I would think the hair on your body would be like a built-in type of sunblock where it would shade you.
I shaved it.
Did you? How long did it take you to shave your back, Tim?
I had to do it in like shifts. Like one day I did front, next day I did a corner. The other day I think first day I did head, second day I did chest, third day did back. And I'll tell you right now, it's like even like with the love handles.
Yeah.
My love handles are getting so fat. Those things got like it was like they were like baked ham. Like you could put my love handles like on a meat slicer and just made chipped ham sandwiches for everybody at the beach.
Yeah,
it was red.
That happens.
Burnt. Oh.
As you get older, that's what happens, Tim. We start to change. We aren't the physical specimens that we used to be. How many razors did you go through to shave your body?
No, we just went through one. We did the electric thing. We didn't go bare skin. I couldn't do bare skin. If I went bare skin and then out in the sun, oh boy, it would have been like you use a plowed astroturf and all you have is brush burns everywhere. That would have mixed well.
I bet you that'd have felt great in the salt
man.
water, Tim. That'd have been great as you walked into the North Carolina salt water, eh?
It would have been bad, man. I would have been, I would have been stinging. I mean, I was disgusting. I was disgusting. Just a booze bag, disgusting slob for a week.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good summer vacation, Tim. That makes me happy.
I wish I would have had this tea medicine before I went down to North Carolina because I probably
That's
could have
true.
got a workout in more than 30 minutes without thinking I might have a heart attack.
That's true. And for the listeners, in case you didn't know, Tim was feeling a little sluggish, so he went and he got some blood tests done. And basically, and I'm paraphrasing this, Tim, so you can help me to narrow the beam.
Mhm.
Basically, the doctors told Tim that he's got the testosterone level basically of a Girl Scout. Is that correct, Tim?
That about sums it up. About sums it up.
So they gave him this magical testosterone cream that
Yeah,
he would have to apply somewhere on his body with no hair. Which,
yeah,
let me tell you something, audience. There aren't many blocks other than Tim's head that is hairless. Is that correct, Tim?
yeah, man. It was a rough find. It
So,
was a
so
rough find.
how have you been reacting to the? Because it's been about close to a week now, right? 4 or 5
It's been about
days.
a week. It's been about a week and a half or so. Yeah.
So how has your body been responding to the testosterone cream?
TJ, I feel like I'm 20 years old again. I mean, I, I see Frank Thomas in those commercials. That's what I feel like right now. I'm feeling good, feeling grand. I feel like if I had this TJ, if I had this for the past 20 years, it makes me think like TJ. I think I've went from 4 to maybe 6 plays just by taking this testosterone cream.
Well, you maybe it might be time to warm up the old wing because, as you know, there's a QB battle at camp.
No, there's not, TJ. No, all we are. Go ahead. No, the QB battle stinks. Let's go. Let's
Well,
get
let's
into
just
it.
let's just go into that. Let's talk about obviously there's lots of stuff to talk about. Let's talk about the QB, the QB battle. What's going on? We got our starter, Mitch Trubisky, the Chicago
Now,
Bear. You should be
TJ,
very familiar
TJ,
with Mitch.
why are we collecting bears like misfit toys? We don't collect bears. Bears collect us. I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know. It's weird. And then you got Mason, who got hit in his own head with his own helmet, Rudolph. And then you got, the darling of Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett. So what have you been hearing as far as this three-way QB battle? What's the word on the street, Tim?
TJ, let me kind of paint the picture first. I had to go back to Pittsburgh, to the motherland, for some business. So when I'm back there, I'm thinking to myself, let me get a feel of what the Yinzers are thinking. And this is just not thinking what they're actually doing at the practice thing. I'll just give you an idea. I went to the Steelers Pro Shop. I'm not talking any Steelers Pro Shop. I'm talking to the Steelers Pro Shop at the stadium. Humongous. It's ginormous. I think they just put it in a couple years ago. I said, I'm going to march my butt down there, see what type of gear I can bring back for me, the wife, and a little one. I walk in there, and if this isn't a sign of damning things, there's not even a Mitch Trubisky jersey hanging in that store. There's a Terrell Edmonds. There's everybody else you can think of. There's not a Mitch Trubisky jersey. And that's in my brain, I go, this is at the stadium. This is Art Rooney Drive. My guess is they're controlling what's in this little arena. There's not even a Mitch Trubisky jersey. You can't tell me this dude that's going 4 for 23 and 7 shots, he's any good. He can't be the one. He can't. He can't, TJ. TJ, he can't be the one. He
I
can't.
think you make a strong argument. Apparently, he's been on the struggle bus at camp. So what are you hearing about? I've heard to terrify me that Mason Rudolph has actually looked a little sharp. Is that
That
true?
dude,
Have you confirmed
TJ,
it?
that guy could be throwing. That guy could be the next Joe Montana. He ain't gonna be a Steeler after this whole entire situation happens. I don't care what you say. He always looks great in practice. He gets in the game and he looks like he looks like me playing quarterback. That's what he looks like. I'm like, this guy stinks.
Well, that leaves Pittsburgh's own Kenny Pickett. That leaves
Don't let
yeah.
don't let Kenny get hot. Don't let Kenny get hot.
So I mean, maybe Kenny is the guy. I mean, I've heard obviously he needs some time to develop, and let's just be real. Us Yinzers at times are not the most patient people in the world, right?
TJ, it was a first throw at camp. It was an incomplete pass. It was his very first one. Trubisky had an incomplete pass, and somebody's yelling, "Putting Kenny Pickett." That's all you're going to hear all year.
I mean, I remember growing up in the day back with Tom, our dad, the
Yeah,
original Big Greek. I remember him
yeah.
screaming at the TV, telling the TV that they should fire Chuck Noll, they should
Mhm.
dump Terry Bradshaw, that mean Joe Green was a bum. I remember these coming out of Dad's lips. I remember that.
That sounds very familiar to a, I don't know, 42 years later. I'm just starting to just Benjamin Button into Dad. That's great.
That's right. I
No,
mean, he wasn't a patient. I don't think Yinzers inherently are patient.
TJ, I've said this. I mean, I said this when they signed Mitch Trubisky. Have I ever waved on him being any good?
No, you said he stunk from
TJ,
the very beginning.
I did. And either our defense is rivaling the 70s Steel Curtain or the 85 Bears, or he's just not any good, TJ. And I'm leaning on the side that he's just not any, TJ, what, four for, I think I realized like 4 for 21 or 4 for 20 something in the 7-on-7. TJ, you can get a shovel pass here and there in the end zone, you know.
Well, let's just be real too. Let's be fair. I think the defense is very good, but most of the weapons that he would normally have at his disposal, they haven't really been playing a whole lot. You haven't had Deontay, you haven't had Claypool, you haven't had Najee, you haven't had Fryermuth. I mean,
TJ,
they've been all sidelined.
don't tell me Claypool's a weapon. That's another dude. When I said draft day, and I swayed, and I'm back onto what I he is. TJ, he's not going to be any good. He's not going to be any good. Now,
Now
we'll tell you, the
Pickens is
freak
going
of
to be
freaks,
good. Now, have you noticed too?
Mr. Pickens is going to be a man.
We've been collecting our fair share of Notre Dame players too. Have you noticed that?
They picked up another. They have the whole receiving core. The team that got beat from Alabama by 100. What are they doing?
I don't know. It's weird to me. So if you were to look at the QB thing, what would Tim Harris's best guess be to how the season's going to unfold with the QBs?
Oh, Mitch is gonna start unless some ungodly things happens, which is terrifying. But to me, I'm like, if he's not going to be any good, why don't you just let Kenny get his bumps with the first team? Who knows? He may get. It seems like everything that I've been reading, he was terrible the first week, or wasn't great with the first week. As soon as they put pads on, he's been getting better and better each day. And it's kind of weird, like when you don't have him run with the third team, which looks like he was running for his life against what he was doing the majority of the time. They first put him with the second team. They're like, oh, Kenny's throwing some darts everywhere. He's getting out of the pocket. He's throwing some ropes. Like, why won't you give him a pop with the first team to kind of see if he is the deal or not? To me, it's like, even if Mitch is good, how far can he take you, Teach?
Yeah, I agree.
So you might as well just give Kenny a shot. Mitch stinks. He stinks. He stinks. He's a nice guy, but he stinks.
Yeah. Well, I think I want to see the preseason. I want to see how they play in the preseason, and then I don't see any way unless Mitchell Trubisky catches fire that he plays the whole year. I think that he gets things maybe started.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play the whole year. My over under is week 6.
Yeah, that could be true.
Now, you know what? I would maybe I would. I don't know when their buys. I think their buys like week 9 or week 8, but somewhere in that area between 6 and 9. That's where I think the Mitchell Trubisky experience is going to be finito.
I think part of it's determined too in how they get out of the gate. If they are tanking early, I mean, what do you have to lose? But if they look like they're going to be competitive, say they get to week 6 and they're 4-2, maybe. I mean, maybe they ride them out.
They could be 1-5. You know as well as I do. The Steelers ain't quitting on the season. They're gonna. We're one piece away. Next thing you know, they'll trade for some guy or do something crazy. What the hell's going on here? And somehow they'll claw their way to 7-8, and then we'll be watching last week of the season, praying they get in the playoffs.
Just to get the stuffing kicked out of them by somebody.
And somehow they'll get in, and next thing you know, we got Buffalo coming into town. They'll just like a track meet up and down the field on us.
I did hear something interesting today. And again, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I did hear about Jimmy Garoppolo maybe being available too. What would they do?
I'm done. What are you going to do with Jimmy Garoppolo? You're going to bring him in for 20 minutes? TJ, I got buddies that are Niners fans who they beat Jimmy Garoppolo down to the ground. I'm going, dude, what has he done? He chokes in every big time game. TJ, he was 8 for 25 for 82 yards in an NFC title game. I don't want that dude.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Lead you to 8-1? I don't want that. You know what you're getting out of Jimmy Garoppolo. At least with Kenny, you're like, you don't know what you have. You're like, maybe this dude is going to be a Burrow, or maybe he's going to suck. And if he sucks, guess what? I'm drafting another quarterback. With Jimmy Garoppolo, what are you going to do? I would rather spend the $8 million that they spent on Mitch than the $20 million that Jimmy was gonna. You're gonna have to get
Yeah.
Jimmy, even if they cut him. I mean, look, what are you gonna? He also had shoulder surgery. How do you know? How do you know it's right? He's throwing the ball. How do you know it's right?
No, you're right. I mean, there's. I think if you see them go out and get somebody like that, you know that their confidence is shaky in what they have. So, well, I mean, it's early.
They're all about, but they're all about quarterback mobility. Do you think Jimmy G's going to
No,
be running anywhere?
no. I think
No.
that's why Mason Rudolph is kind of having some issues too, because he's not as mobile as the other two.
TJ Mason's there because they signed him last year to a 2-year deal, and they're like, we'll just keep him around and just they're gonna end up trading him before camp's over. Mark
What do
my
you think?
words.
What do you think they'll get for him?
I don't know. TJ, they got like a 6th-round pick for Josh Dobbs.
That's true.
You can at least get a 5th or something for him.
I don't
Some of
know.
the backup quarterbacks in this league, TJ. That's why they stink.
Some of the main quarterbacks stink too.
I agree. Like ours.
Yeah, it's looking. I don't know. I want to see the games before I start to freak out and go crazy. I need to see the game, and hopefully we'll see. I want to see. I think for the rookies, especially Pickett, these guys, I think it's probably a timing issue. Everything you always hear about the NFL, it's so much faster than college ball. So I think once he catches up with timing, I think he'll be fine. Let's flip over. Oh, go ahead.
I'm more curious what they're going to do. How are they going to deploy that in the preseason? Because normally your starter, how are they going to deploy the reps to see that between those 3 in the games, which is going to be very interesting to see. Because normally
I bet you they'll go 2-1-1 in the first one, or 2-1.5, and then give Pickett maybe half of a quarter. I think you'll see Trubisky for the first 2 quarters. You have to.
The first game out of the chute?
Oh, yeah. You have to. You got no clear leader. You have to. You got 3 quarterbacks. Somebody's going to have to get it. And then maybe in the next game, if they flip it around, and maybe in that last game you see more Pickens. I don't know, or Kenny Pickett. Excuse me.
Quit calling him Pickens, dude. His name is Pickett.
I know it's Kenny Pickett. Well,
he's gonna be our Jesus in a couple of years. Just Pickett, get it right.
I know. Well, because I'm looking at the next segment, because let's flip over now. Let's stay with the offense and talk a little bit about the wide receivers. A lot of wide receiver action. Again, the Steelers did it again. They signed, Deontay. I'll tell you what. I think that's a good deal for the Steelers. They didn't bet the farm, and it's a 2-year deal, or it's a 3-year deal if you put them all together. It's a show me deal. I mean, it's less than.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if this was 4 months ago, 3 months ago, and you told me, and I told you they just signed him to an $18 million a year deal, what would you say? Would you say it's a good deal?
I would say
before all these other guys got paid the way that they did.
I think it's relevant, because I think that's what receivers are making now. I think when you put it in the scale of all the other guys, he's a bargain.
Now you say that, but I'm saying before these guys got their massive deals, if you're telling me you're going to put $18 million in Deontay Johnson, you're going to tell me that's a good deal.
You know what? Right now, I think he's still the number one guy. I think Pickens can be that number one guy, but I mean, who's better than him on our team? Who's the number one receiver?
For me, you got to trust the one thing the Steelers do incredible. It's draft receivers.
I understand, but you're talking like a couple months ago. You're talking like before the draft. Or are you talking like, I mean, they draft these guys and they have no idea how Pickens is going to be. Now we do. They have no idea how Austin's going to be. You picked up what, Boken? Who knows what?
But to me, that's the one position that I would kind of say I trust myself drafting, even though they do it all the time. That's what they do. If this was cornerback, I would say, no, give him all the money, give him everything. But just being a wide receiver, it's like, me personally, I didn't think they'd go above $15 million. I know that's roll over from Deontay. I think they had him by the couillons, truthfully. Because truthfully, if you make him play it out, and if he has a great year, you franchise him next year. If he doesn't, he ain't getting $18 million.
Yeah.
Just ain't going to happen. He's probably going to get somewhere between that 15 13 and 15 if he doesn't have a great year. So that's, to me, it's the only thing I could think of. Do I mind it because it's 2 years? I mean, it is what it is. It's what the going market is. So I don't hate it, but I'm not googly about it. You know what I mean? The timing adds up. The way that they did it for the years, I get why they did it, because a lot of their other big horses are going to be either coming up on that last year of their deal, or they're going to be ready for their new deal. But to me, this tells me Chase Claypool, there's not a chance in God creation he's going to get signed back.
No, unless he has a monster year or something happens, because I mean, what does he give you that like Pickens isn't going to give you? He looks like he's just. I tell you what, the Steelers when you talk about Freiermuth and Pickens, and who knows how much time Austin's going to get on the field. He's had some.
I heard that guy. I've heard he looks electric too, man.
I mean, so they have really. I mean, they've really upped their offensive weapon capabilities. And again, when you look at the Matt Canada offense, I hear people talking about, are they going to have time to get protection to get him, for them to get down the field? I don't think that's in his offense anyway. I think he's moving stuff around, and when when he's trying to get down the field, he's either moving the pocket or he's doing play action. So I don't think it's. I think they're going to be a better offense. I think if you have an average quarterback with those receivers, they're going to make whoever's throwing that ball, if they get him within the vicinity, they're going to look really good.
I told you draft day, Pickens I thought he was the best pick of the draft. I said that, and I'll stand by that. I mean, the only thing gets me nervous about him, it's not this year or next year. It's like year 3. I'm just scared that dude's head is – I'm nervous about that. Like, you're going to wake up one day like, oh, Pickens to beat 1,000 people in the street with a handgun.
Let's just be real. Let's just be real. There's something – he's not normal.
No.
There's something off with the guy. No. So, I mean, I would love to see him level off and be normal. That thing that gives him his edge, when you look at him, there's an element of crazy or something in him. I think let's just pray.
Dog, dude.
He just contains it. And I would love to see him have a great career with us, but if we get 3 or 4 years out of him and then we jettison him, to the Raiders or somebody like that, let them deal with the crazy. It is what it is.
He the more I see of him, the more he looks like a AJ Green.
Yeah.
Remember AJ Green?
I do.
He's just some of the stuff I've seen clips of him catching balls with his body being that big. I'm like, this dude he's a freak.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
And it sounds weird. There's a violence to him that you don't see a lot in wide receivers. He's just, I mean, he is like, if you were to sculpt an image of a Steeler wide receiver from what everybody would want a wide receiver to be, he reminds me, he's got that edge of Hines Ward with craziness and size. He's scary. I mean, when you put him out there, how many guys in the league, offensive guys, can throw around corners, safeties, linebackers? I mean, holy cow.
I agree.
He can be scary. And I mean, some of the catches he's making are ridiculous.
The one guy they've been saying when he gets his time to kind of shine has been pretty good too, which I don't think we're even thinking about. I think at some point he's going to have a larger role going this year than me and you maybe think he is. It's Connor Hayward. They say when he gets on the field, he's impossible to cover.
Shifty. He's got that shifty Ironhead stuff going on.
They say like you put him in the tight end position in that area that you can't. He crushes linebackers. So to me, if you can somehow work when you're getting passing situations and you can somehow have Freiermuth in him like you did with the old, it's the murder guy and Gronk in New England.
Yeah.
I mean, but you think about it when you got a young quarterback that's going to be their best friends. And if you have 2 guys that are in that you kind of use to protect and you can get in on routes and basically force a defense to not run a dime or they have to. I think it could be beneficial, but what do I know? It seems like it'd be something smart I do on Madden, but I don't know. I'm not Matt Canada.
How's he is he a decent blocker? I haven't heard anything about his blocking.
I don't know. I don't know where you're. I don't. He has to. I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, he's not huge. What is he, like 6'1", 6'2", something like that?
I think he's like 6'3", 6'2". I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I don't think he's huge. He's not like Frank.
He's got to be better than some of the tight ends we've had blocking here in the past.
Oh yeah, no. We haven't had any monster
Eric
blockers
Ebron.
in a long time.
Eric Ebron. You think he was a monster blocker?
Did he sign on with anybody?
No, no, no. Do you think a guy with paddles growing out of his hands are going to sign with somebody?
We'll call him Groot. That's what we'll call him. So we got the receivers. Let's flip over to the running back. So we know who our number one back is. That's Najee Harris. But I got to tell you this. I think it's pretty funny. We seem to be having a parade of number two backs that are coming through.
I'm,
They have three more
I'm
guys
waiting.
that came in today. It's
I'm waiting.
crazy.
I'm waiting for him to call 33 for the Gateway Gators Hall of Fame.
I'm ready to go. Shoot me up. I'm ready to go. I got some plays left in me. Isn't that kind of crazy? So, what do you think right now is going through Benny Snell's head right now?
He better be a lock on special teams. That's all I'd be thinking if I was him.
And McFarland too. Now I heard McFarland's been
that-
lighting up the camp, but I don't know if that's true or not.
TJ, you know what's going to happen when he gets in the game. He's going to catch that swing pass, and you're going to be like, "Here he goes." He's going to be like, he's going to fall down. That's just happens. Falls down.
So
I mean, they're
I'm
bringing in
anxious to
guys.
see
They're bringing
who's
in
the number
guys
two
who are
guy.
like, I don't know who's going to be. They're bringing in guys like I've never like. You were like, this guy was a fantasy stud like 7 years ago, and you're like, he's going to try out now with a.
They
So,
did. They
I don't know,
brought in
man.
like three dudes. They brought in a dude from the Cowboys. Another guy I think from the Raiders, and I forget the other, maybe the Seahawks. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, it just makes you think like, some of the guys I got rid of, like Jalen Samuels. Remember when I said looked like he was running in water? He must really suck if they can't bring that dude back to play.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I don't know who they're going to. I get what you're saying. Benny's probably going, yeah, I'm going to be a gunner on the special teams. And McFarland's probably going to look at himself in the mirror every day going, people like me. I'm okay.
It's kind of funny too, because I wonder, man, maybe Tomlin. I mean, this is an interesting thing. He might be using this saying, "Hey guys, you got to step up or you're done." This is kind of cool. I don't remember him doing stuff like this intense.
It's either that or if we lose Najee, we might as well you might as well forget about it.
Yeah, we're done.
I don't know. Like it's very weird. Like I agree with you. I look every day. I go, oh, see, it's on the ticker. You're going, yeah, I remember that. I remember that dude from playing Madden in 2007. He was pretty good at that.
That's right. So you have that, and then that takes us to the last thing, the line. Hey, so the line. We're getting mixed reports from the line again too, but it takes them a little time to get together. I did hear this today. Talk about possibly picking up, and then again, I know you don't like to collect bears, but they got that big offensive tackle that's giving them stuff.
TJ, he's been hurt for like 2 years straight. He's a bad back. That's the last thing I want is a line with a bad back. Do you want a big 6'6", 300-pound dude with a bad back?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
TJ, that's like saying, hey, give me the 6'4", 6'5" prototype quarterback, 215 pounds with just came off of rotator cuff surgery last week. Or he got his elbow all redone like Ben. I don't need that.
So Tim, basically, you just described yourself, except if you lock off like 4 or 5 inches.
Basically, no, I don't want that dude. Don't want that dude. The one that interests me is like the guard. I know that they have. I mean, that dude. For him to say, Kendrick Green, like I didn't want to play center, didn't like playing. I was like, no, you don't want to play center because you sucked at it last year.
Yeah.
But like, is Dotson? I never thought Dotson was that bad.
He's not.
Why do they hate him so bad?
I don't know. I don't know if he's lived up to what they think this potential is, but I don't think he's that bad.
He was like a 4th-round draft pick, and if you get his hands on you, he's like a big ginormous bear. You can't do anything. I just don't understand like why he. I thought like 2 years ago when he was a rookie, he was like one of their best linemen, and that's when they put in. What's his name? I don't know what is it, Legui or somebody else in the playoff game. And he was getting against the Brown. It was like you might as well just put Casper the Friendly Ghost.
It was pretty bad. I'll tell you what, I do like. I like this Cole kid too, man. This is where I like Cole. When I saw that he took on like the whole defensive line by himself, I like that. I'm sorry, that tells me okay, he's not shying from anything. Let him. Now he's not going to be a pouncy probably.
But I will say this: I've heard the Dan Moore looking great, and I've heard Chooks is looking good too. So I think maybe they are smarter than us by giving Chooks a deal. But we'll know real quickly when we get the regular season, and he's got to get good. If he's going against T.J. Watt and the other dude the whole time, those tackles have to get better, right?
They do. I think you're right. So I don't know. So let's talk about, since you bring up let's talk about the defense. I think, again, when you look at the defense, I think the best pickup of the year for the defense was Flores, and I'm very. You can already see, I think, some of his influence. I love hearing some of the guys already talking about him, and they're talking about just it's another level. So here's a question: do you think he's going to call the defensive plays? Is Tomlin going to call him? Austin can't. He's got to be like a third, right? He's not. He can't even be in the conversation yet.
Tomlin's still going to call plays, but I think it's going to be he'll give a little bit more leeway. I think Flores. I think I mean they all will, but I think I don't know. I think Tomlin will still have his hands, his prints all over things, but I think that Flores will be doing a lot. I mean, I will say this, man. The more you hear clips out of it, it is damning how bad Devin Bush is. They're talking about bringing Spillane beating him out now too, at number 2.
I saw that.
Patrick Spillane. Are you kidding me?
So what happened? What happened with Bush?
I don't know. TJ, if at this point I think it's in his head. It's either that or we thought he was good and he just isn't any good.
Yeah.
Because it can't be his knee anymore. They're saying it's one thing if it's your knee and you're like scared of running, like speed and covering people. There's nothing if you just don't want to hit people.
Yeah.
If you're a linebacker and you don't want to hit people in the face, you shouldn't be a linebacker.
Yeah.
I heard Miles Jack is flying around like
I heard that too.
A madman. But I have heard that Spillane looks the best out of all 3 of them, which scares the crap out of me. Because again, all I remember is Patrick Spillane covering number 80 from the Browns. If it was me and Madden, that's the same play I would have ran a million times and won by like 70 nothing on 2-minute quarters.
Yeah. No, I've heard the same thing. Well, I think too. I mean, and again, the only thing, if you go to the outside now, I mean, obviously I love, you got to love Watt. I love Highsmith too. I think we're a little thin on the outside. That makes me nervous again.
TJ, you think? They got, what's his name?
LaGrue or whatever his name is.
No.
Or Mado, or what is it? Or Mondu?
No, but Mondu makes his team. We are in some deep doo-doo. What's the guy from the white guy? The other guy that's outside. Not Tupac Shakur. What's his name? he was another white guy from the outside rusher. That's who they got as their backup.
You
don't want white guys backing up.
Yeah.
Unless their name is Watt. That's the only thing. So I don't know who's out there to get somebody else on the edge. I'm hoping somebody gets cut at some point during camp. You got to get another edge dude, because if one of those two go down, whoa, yikey monkey. We're going to be bad shape, dude. Bad shape.
No, I hear you. So then, you look back at the defensive line. Now, again, on paper, if we get all these guys back, and you start to plug in like Ogunjobi, dude, our defensive line looks fierce.
Ogunjobi, it gets me nervous that you're already seeing injuries with Alou. I mean, to me, it gets me a little bit nervous. You see that. I don't think he's even he practiced like one day. At some point in time, your body just, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
He's 35, I think, 36 or something.
He's up there.
Point in time, we're expecting a lot from him.
Yeah.
I'm just worried he's going to be non-existent all year. If your knees are already swollen up and all you're doing is running, essentially the first week of practice was no shells. You're running basically. You're doing, it's like the turkey bowl when the fat guys play up front. You're just kind of going like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And your knees swelling up. That's a bad sign. TJ.
It is a very bad sign. Some people will get cut from camp, so they might be able to pick some guys up too. And who knows? I've heard some mixed reviews from the guy that they drafted that he's got some sparks. I heard he put on a lot of weight already.
I heard he looks pretty good, which is good. It's good, but you can't. He's going to be good in a rotation when those guys get set. But you gotta trust Ogunjobi. I'm going to love that. I'm going to butcher that name all year. Ogunjobi.
I tell you, if he can come back and play like he did before, dude, he's a heck of a pickup.
Yeah, he's a very good pickup. If he's somewhere, he's better than we were throwing out there last year. If I have to watch Henry Mondu rush the quarterback again.
It's pretty bad. Who was the dude with the long hair, the white guy with all the long hair? Who was that?
Henry Mondu.
He was bad.
TJ, He reminds me of like somebody you would see in the movie The Revenge of the Nerds, but like on the jock side, it was like, oh, kill the nerds, kill the nerds.
He's bad. He looks like a guy
I don't
you'd see
want
like
him.
in a truck and tractor pool, like
He
pit crew. He
does.
looks like one of those
He,
guys.
he does, man. If we're relying on Henry Mondu, we're going to be in
No,
bad to do. Bad
no.
to do.
Hopefully, I think if they get that shored up a little more, I think hopefully that'll help the linebackers a little bit too. What have you been hearing about the secondary? Cornerback, safeties, all that stuff.
I don't know. All I've been hearing is like, I mean, you look at it one side, you see like, Mitchell's going 4 for 21 and super shots, whatever. But I have been hearing like every time like a receiver does something spectacular, it's been on Alonzo, the corner, the guy that they signed from last year. We're like, you think this guy's pretty good? And he's like showing off. They're down like 100. He makes like an interception. All I've been hearing is like he's been getting smoked left and right. So I don't know. And it gets me a little nervous. I think Sutton got hurt,
Yeah,
banged
I
his
saw
knee
that.
up, and the other corner they signed, the guy from Buffalo, he's been
Yeah.
out all camp with a sickness. Like it's been it's been 2 weeks. What type of sickness do you have? Do you have
Hopefully,
syphilis? What do you have?
hopefully he doesn't have the COVID or the monkeypox. Let's hope he doesn't have either one of those.
But even if you have COVID, your guess is you probably would have came back within a time. I mean,
Who knows? I don't know.
it's
Let's
been like
hope it's
two
nothing major.
weeks.
Let's hope it's
That'd be our
nothing
luck.
major.
We signed some dude that's dying, and he still can't get on the field.
Stop. Well, I'm looking forward. I think we'll have a lot of our questions answered once we get into that first preseason game. I'm ready.
I
Hey, I
don't
know
think
that you
so,
saw.
TJ. There's no way we're a lot of questions.
Well, I want to see how guys
Did you
play.
watch that Hall of Fame game?
I didn't watch it. No, I did. I was working.
Exactly. You know why you didn't watch it? Because it stunk. That's what we're going to be going. What the hell is this?
I want to see what the line looks like, and I just want to see. I mean, I think we'll know a lot if we go out there. Mitchell is like 0 for 10, and he's like like skipping passes off. I mean, it tells us a lot. Holy cow, Tim! What happens if you do this and Rudolph is like the king of the mountain?
TJ, there is not a chance in God's creation. I can tell you right now, Mason could be 100 for 100 the rest of the preseason, the rest of camp. There is no way he's winning. I don't even know why he's there. There's no way he's winning this job. TJ, there's none. They're trying to say it's a quarterback competition. It's not, TJ. It's either Mitch or it's Kenny. It's one of the two. And I will tell you, like I said, being back in Pittsburgh, like I said, Mitch is a nice dude. I'm going to feel terrible for him this year because it's going to be, he's going to throw one incomplete pass the first game of the season, and all that stadiums you hear is Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. It's all you're going to hear.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I never saw anything like it. I thought, like, when I went to that store, I was astonished. Like, Kenny's and everybody else's jerseys up there. I was like, they got to have a Trubisky jersey. It wasn't like I was going to buy it or anything. I was just curious. I'm going,
Tim, so are you getting a Kenny Pickett jersey, or did you already buy one?
no, I didn't. That's way too early. They got to prove something to me. I didn't buy a TJ Watt jersey until like year 3 or 4.
So who's the next jersey you're buying? Are you going to buy a Pickens jersey, Tim?
I got it. I can't just go jump in and buy a rookie jersey without them proving something to me. I'll probably stay with Watt for a while. I mean, you know what you're getting out of Watt.
Yeah, it's true.
But if Pickett, put it this way, if you see Kenny and if he's a good for a year or two, hey, that jersey is going to be good for about 18. I'm in this fans like the mindset now. I'm older. It kind of, you feel weird wearing a jersey anyways with the dude that's like 20 years younger than you. But I'm in that mindset now. If I'm going to buy a jersey, I'm going to get a really nice one, and it's going to be one that I know I can wear for like 15 years, and hopefully that's Kenny at some point. So probably ideally the next one, because again, Pickens would be cool, but again, I think he's going to have 3 years, and next thing you know, we're going to be going, oh, he's got a 6-game suspension. Oh, he's got a 12-game suspension. Oh, Steelers just traded him for a 7th-round pick.
It'd be a great jersey. Get you a Cam Hayward jersey.
Yeah, but he's got like 3 years left. I don't want to be one of those dudes. I don't want to be one of those dudes going to the games with a Jack Lambert jersey. You look like a loser.
So do you not wear any? Do you have any old like retired guys jerseys that you still wear?
I mean, yeah,
like a Polamalu or anybody? Or?
TJ, of course I do, because that's when I was growing up. That was like those were my guys. So they're in my closet. I'm not going to sit there and rock one to a game. Like, hey, look, check out that stinking the Joey Porter jersey I got on. No, you look like a loser.
Well, I mean, the built-in jersey for us is the Harris jersey, Tim.
Nah, yeah, but there's a big. I mean, I get it. I get it to a point. To a point.
I mean, I had the Franco jersey because we're Harris's, and now you have the Najee. Now, again, the
TJ,
number's different, but
how often do you wear? How often do you wear a Franco or someone like that or a Bettis jersey to if you go to a game?
I don't. I usually grab something more modern. I usually grab a Y.
Exactly, because those people look like they're Yinzers and they're in our blood, and we grew up and we we breathed in the same menthol cigarette smoke in our face as they did, same
Yeah,
icy light breath that they,
that's true. We
same
did. Yes, we
water.
did.
But it's you look from the outside, you're like, hey, you look like a loser. You look like a
Mm.
loser.
Yeah, well, so I'm looking forward to the preseason game. It'll be next Saturday night. And just to remind everybody, we're going to be back on a regular schedule now that the Steelers are blowing and going. So we'll have another week under our belts next week at camp and a preview to the game against who are we playing? Is it it's not the Seahawks? Is it? They're the last game,
Yes,
I
it
think.
is.
Was it Seahawks?
No, Seahawks
So
first game.
that'll be fun. Also, that gives you an opportunity, our fans. By the way, this is just so you know. I don't know if people know this, Tim. We are an international podcast.
I know. That's why. I mean, we've been there for a while, right?
That means that we have
Yeah.
listeners literally in the United States and outside of the United States. I won't tell you where because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
spoil, where all the listeners are from. But
Mm-hmm.
so if you got any questions, anything you'd like to ask the Yinzer Bros, we're here to drop some knowledge on you and to just help you out in your understanding of where the Steelers are at. So you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, that's yinzerbros@gmail.com. And then, we'll put your question into the Yinzer mailbag. And if you're lucky enough, we'll pull it out and we'll answer it here on this international podcast. So Tim, I
This
think
is this is year 3, right?
this is year 3
This is
of the
kicking
Yinzer
off year
Brothers
3.
podcast. This is. It's hard to believe,
Yikes, man.
Tim. It's hard to believe. And fame has not gotten to our head. We're still
Hey,
normal
no.
guys, average guys. We're still salt of the earth Yinzers. We just are.
Agreed. Salt to the earth.
We are
Salt
salted.
of the earth.
We are. So Tim, anything you want to add before we sign off on this season 3 opening podcast?
I'm looking and I'm kind of curious to see how the Testy Cream's going to mix with the Steeler games. See if it's going to make me a happier human or if it's going to actually make my heart explode. So we'll see what happens this year. I mean, I'm hoping it. We'll see. We'll see what that deadly mixture does. I haven't had that I stopped taking the wolf pills, so the Testy Cream's it. So
We'll see.
who would have
Well,
thunk the wolf pills? Who would have thunk those wolf pills from Amazon? Not too good for me, TJ. That's what the
that's
doc
right.
said. Not too good for me.
That's what I'm sure. Only God knows. They could be anything. I mean, it could be made out of toenails. Could be anything in there, Tim. Hey,
My guess is it was probably squirrel poop.
You know what we should do this year? We should take the Yinzer Bros on the road. We should maybe go to a Steeler game, or maybe even do an on location Yinzer Bros, maybe from a Permanente Bros.
We can do that. We could do that. We could do that, man. We
So
could
here's the
do that.
question. I mean, would they be able to accommodate an international podcast like ours?
I don't know, TJ. I mean, that's a tough. They would be lined up outside the street
They
to
would.
get in to get a peek at the
They
Ninja
would.
Bros.
I tell you, I hope they have enough, for cheesesteaks and wings that day because we would just blow them out of the water. And then, Tim, anything else you want to add tonight?
No, I'm good. Like I said, it was a good trip back to the motherland. Haven't been back there for a while.
Sweet.
Very entertaining hearing the dialect when you're kind of living away from the burg for so long. But it was a good trip, and got the essentials while I was there, and I'm
So
excited
the
for football
essentials:
season.
Permanente sandwich, smiley
Yep.
face cookies, right?
Yep.
Did you make a stop at King's? Did you get a creamy fudge ice cream cake by chance or no?
No, I'm kind of scared to go to Monroe anymore to go to Kings, so no, I didn't do that.
Oh,
I
how the
will say
mighty has
this.
fallen.
I will say this. Last story I'll make it kind of short. I'll be very short, actually. Wanted to get some Turner's iced tea.
Yeah.
So went into a Sheets. Come to find out, they're too high end for too high end Turner's, or Sheets is too high end for Turner's tea. So I had to go to another gas station to get them in the middle of the ghetto. Not a fun trip, TJ. Not a fun trip. But I got my Turner's tea, and then as I'm sitting at the airport in Pittsburgh, thinking I would love to have some Turner's tea to take home to me. I see somebody next to me with a bag, and I'm looking in there. I go, holy mackerel, they got Turner's tea in there. So they put a Rite Aid in the Pittsburgh airport, and I go, I got to board my plane in about 20 minutes. I'm going to run right there and get some Turner's tea. I run into the Rite Aid, look at the fridge, Turner's tea, up and down, up and down. I grabbed 2 teas. I grabbed one for me to take for the plane and a bigger one. So I didn't take a sip of it on the plane. I get home. I got to show my wife, look at the Turner's tea. This is it. This is what I've been talking about, Turner's tea. It's delicious. Take a sip of the tea. What do? I didn't even look at the label. I bought diet teas for both of them, and they taste like crap.
Tim, maybe that's a sign.
TJ, they taste a diet Turner's tea. I'm out to drink my own urine.
That's right. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe that's a sign, because I mean, you did have your shocking beach experience, so maybe it's a sign. I can't believe so. Sheets is not selling Turner's tea anymore.
No,
that's a load of crap.
It is. But TJ, you would have thunk when I say there was a fridge from top to bottom of just Turner's tea and Rite Aid, you would have thunk the chances of me picking 2 diet ones were slim to none. But my dumb rear end, and I was so happy. I thought I was getting a deal. They rang up like $1.50 at the airport. I'm like, deal.
Tim, you got to focus, man. You got to focus.
So disappointing.
But now, was that pre or post Testy Cream?
That was like first week of Testy Cream.
So you weren't. It wasn't fully in your system yet.
I wasn't fully Hulk mode yet. No.
No. So now I'm sure that would never happen, because you'd be sharp as a tack now. All right. Well, don't forget, if you like what you hear, pass it along to your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, even people you don't like. Any Steeler fan you know, this is the podcast to listen to. Again, we're the Yinzer Bros. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number 1 out here, right?
See you next week.